Hey guys, TRION here, and today I'm going to be testing the Deus Vayanne at Golden Max in Ghost Slipstream multiplayer in Asphalt 9. Please consider subscribing if you have not already, and be sure to check out my TRION Clips channel, TRION TV channel, and Purple Team Discord. Links to all those will be down in the description, and I hope you enjoy the video. So these are 6 sequential races I played in this car in the recent season, which consisted of the Deus and I believe other cars that were necessary for its special event, like the new Artura. Now I decided to do something a little bit different in this video. I'm going to be showing you in this first race my very first experience driving this car and its disastrous results. Yeah, I knew this car was a lot like the TRION NEMESIS, just based on, you know, its stats and everything like that. But I didn't quite realize just how similar it was, and that is the car that I would most, I guess, compare this one to. It's quite similar to the TRION NEMESIS in how it drives, and how fast it is, and how amazingly sharp its drifting is. Like here, I tried drifting, and I end up hitting the inside, which caused me to lose a bunch of speed because I didn't know that the car drifted that well. Then these people were able to pass me, because this car has such great speed, was able to catch up and pass one of them, nearly passed this other guy, finished in second, very close to first in a race where I had no idea how I was supposed to drive this car. But because I got that bit of practice, we're now moving on to my second race in this car, and things went a lot better this time. This track is, I would say in general, a bit more geared toward this car anyway, since this is a very fast car, 287 miles per hour at Golden Max, its speed with nitro. And, you know, the Caribbean, while this car is able to get around the corners well due to having that great drifting ability, which we will see again later on in this video. Spoiler alert, we have another Caribbean race which goes a bit better than that one did. Its main strength is its top speed. And so when you get tracks where the car is able to get up to that speed, that's where it will really shine. As you can see here, I'm able to get very far ahead of all of these other guys. So I mentioned earlier about how this car feels a lot like the TRION NEMESIS to drive, and it does in 3 of the 4 stats. The handling and drifting are super tight, the nitro is not very good, and the top speed is great. The one thing that is different though, that is, you know, the thing that sets it apart from the TRION, and maybe why it has such a ridiculously higher rank than that car, is the acceleration being much better. This is one of the better accelerating cars in Class S, having above an 86 acceleration, where on the other hand, the TRION NEMESIS has one of the slowest accelerations in Class S, with around 80. So this one is definitely a marked improvement above that. All this to say, if you enjoy the TRION NEMESIS, if you like driving that car, but you don't really like the way that it starts up slower than a lot of the other S-Class cars, this will drive very similarly, but just get you up to speed that much quicker. And I would say it definitely helped in a lot of these races. Now, in Ghost Slipstream, the bad acceleration does not really come into play all that much, and I would say that the good acceleration of this car, in that case, did not come quite into play as much as it would in a non-Ghost Slipstream season. But even though at the beginning it doesn't really help all that much in Slipstream, what it does do is allow you to get up to a higher speed more quickly around the turns. See, that's one issue that I have had with the TRION NEMESIS. With the low acceleration, even in Ghost Slipstream, if you're able to get ahead of people, you know, for example, after going around a corner, you can't get up to a high speed very quickly because you just run out of nitro super fast and you don't have the acceleration to get you up to a high amount of speed in that time. But in this car, you do. I was definitely finding that in the Deus, I was able to get up to my speed very quickly, even with that low, or that high top speed, I should say. And I do think the great drifting also did help with that. Now, do keep in mind though, that this car does have a low handling stat, which generally, even though we don't know exactly how it works, we think has something to do with how much speed the car loses around the corners. So this car does lose a decent amount of speed around turns, but if you're able to get around them as easily as this car is able to get around that turn there, not really all that much of a problem, and you'll be right up to your speed again right afterwards. One downside to this car that I found is, while it does feel very light and, you know, easy to drive, that does come with some consequences of also being somewhat, prone to weird physics, as we saw back there. This definitely happened more often in this car to me than it did in some other cars, so that is something to keep in mind if you are one of the probably few people who ended up going for this car, as I'm not entirely sure how difficult the event was, but looking through it, it did not look too easy. Definitely let me know in the comments if you were able to get further in it, or if any of you were able to get it. It is a fairly interesting car, I would say, and while it's not a king or anything, I do enjoy driving it, and it would have been one I would have liked to get. But unfortunately, I don't have a lot of the cars that the event requires, such as the Naran, Di Tommaso, and so on. And now we come back to the track from that crazy first race, slightly different variant, but still some of the same locations on the track. And I decided, you know, I'm gonna see if I've improved over my last few races with this car and just try to get around that corner this time without swerving too tightly and hitting the inside. We did have 4 other Vayannes in this race, as well as an Spark Owl, and yeah, I was able to get around this corner just fine the second time around. So I'll also be making a video somewhat soon about the Ares S1, since it has a Grand Prix going on right now that I will be trying to win, and I think it is likely I will be able to get it this time. I'm in tier 4, and it does look like, I don't know yet for sure because not everybody has played, but assuming the people who are sandbagging did not wait till the very last second, it's possible I may be able to get the car. So we'll see how it goes. Currently mine is 2 stars, gives me a slight leg up in times over the people who only have it 1 star, due to, well, 2-starring it in the first time it came around. But yeah, definitely looking forward to that. We'll have a video up about that soon, as well as I'll be making a video about the Jesko 2. I recently 6-starred that car, for those of you who did not know, through the Clash store, and I'll be making a video about that car at max, well, not golden max, but everything except some of the epics in Ghost Slipstream, which in my opinion is definitely the place to use the Jesko. I've also decided to start with the BMW i8 showroom event, going through it just to see how it is, because that car is one that I already had 3-starred. I just need, like, I don't know, 30 or something more blueprints in order to max it out, and it's a good D-class car, so I figured, you know, why not? Why not use this as my first showroom event just to see how it is? It's okay so far. It seems a bit grindy, but nothing terrible, I would say. We'll have to see, though, if it gets a bit too repetitive over time, playing the same events over and over to get blueprints, but for now I don't mind it, and it's time for my general review about the Deus. Very similar to the TRION, but with better acceleration. Not a king, but definitely fun to drive. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt, Forza, maybe Motorsport, because I got that recently, and other games content. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!